Drums crashed through the morning silence. They rolled like thunder and broke the quiet air in one hard wave. People jumped at the sound and turned their heads fast. Villagers rushed toward the noise. Feet hit the ground in a hurry. Dust rose. Voices carried across the open space as people pushed closer. Voices rose as a crowd formed fast. More bodies pressed in. More whispers spread. The noise grew until it felt like the whole place shook. A fierce argument erupted in the square. Angry shouts shot back and forth like flying arrows. Hands pointed. Words cut sharp. A bold figure stood in the middle of the angry young men, arms crossed, chin raised, no fear in the eyes, only fire. The accusation burst out. "You ate 3 bride prices." A loud laugh answered. A hand waved the men away like flies. "If you paid, that is your problem." 3 families stepped forward, demanding justice. They lifted their gifts, high empty baskets, tied ropes. Missing goat sand shook them for all to see. Elders pushed through the crowd for order. Their staffs hit the ground hard as they stepped in front. The elders commanded, "Return what you took." A slow shake of the head answered them. "No fear, no shame. Not today," the elder warned her. "Girl, this is trouble. You cannot eat." A smirk curled across the bold face. "Watch me." The crowd gasped at the challenge. Some stepped back. Some stepped forward. Even the drums seemed to pause. Tension rose as drums beat again in the background. The rhythm shook the air like a warning. The drums beat low, then loud, then low again, as if they knew danger was near. Whispers spread that she had gone too far. She mocks the elders. She steals with a smile. She thinks no one can stop her. Young men stepped forward, wanting answers now. Their fists tightened. Their teeth grit. They wanted truth. They wanted payback. Villagers called out, demanding truth or punishment. "Pay back what you took. Do not hide behind tricks. Let justice speak." She stood her ground, eyes sharp, voice ready. "Bring proof," she said, "or keep crying." Elders exchanged worried looks as the crowd grew wilder. The air felt hot. The voices grew louder. Even the wind seemed to wait for what would happen next. She stood proud as villagers whispered her name. Some whispered in fear. Some whispered in anger. Some whispered in disbelief. But she stood tall, arms folded, the same bold smile on her face. Her reputation walked ahead of her, smart, greedy, and fearless. People said she could trick a snake out of its skin. People said she could sweet-talk a rock until it rolled aside, and she liked hearing every word. Families gathered, still hurting from her tricks. They pointed at empty baskets, missing goats, lost coins. Their voices trembled with anger. Their hands shook with shame. Elders tried to calm the angry crowd. Their staffs tapped the ground slow and heavy, calling for peace. But peace was hard to find around her name. A flashback struck the crowd like a gust of wind. She once promised marriage to her first victim. "Yes, bring goats," she said. "Yes, bring fat ones." The man brought them smiling, dreaming of a wedding feast. Then she took the gifts and slipped away before dawn. Not even a footprint left for him to follow. Another memory rose. The second man offered coins for her hand. She smiled sweetly, touched his shoulder, and said, "I will meet you at sunset." But sunset came alone. The coins were gone. So was she? Then came the third man. He arrived with beads and hope. He held them out. She took them with a bright grin. She ran before the ceremony even started. Villagers shook their heads and muttered, "She eats bride price like food." She shrugged back with a quick grin. "If they are fools, let them pay." A mentor stepped forward to speak sense. The voice was old, steady, full of warning. Greed walks fast, but falls hard. She threw her head back and laughed. "Then let me keep running." Elders watched her with worried, tired eyes. They had seen girls like her before, girls who ran too fast, laughed too loud, and learned too late. Families argued, wanting justice before sunset. Pay back. Make it right. No more tricks. She turned away, already thinking of her next move. Her fingers tapped together. Her eyes scanned faces like a hunter looking for prey. A quiet stranger walked into the village square. No noise. No rush. Just slow steps that made the crowd shift aside without knowing why. The stranger lowered his head, watching her carefully. His eyes were calm. Too calm for a place full of shouting. She spotted him and smiled as if she had just found treasure. "New target," she whispered to herself. The wind shifted, brushing past the crowd like a warning. Something in its sound felt different, heavier, older. The stranger's calm eyes followed her every step. Not afraid. Not fooled. Not blinking. And in that moment, without knowing it, she walked straight toward the end of her own road. She walked toward him with a sweet, fake smile. Her steps were light, her voice soft, her eyes sharp like a knife hidden in cloth. He stood still and listened without a word. His calm face made her wonder, but she pushed the thought away. She studied his clothes and nodded to herself. The cloth looked fine. The shoes looked clean. The belt looked strong. This one is rich, she told herself. This one will pay big. She started her charm game right away. A gentle laugh. A soft look. A quick touch on her hair. Easy work, she whispered. His calm eyes watched every move she made. Not shocked. Not confused. Just steady, like someone waiting for a storm. She told herself she would eat his bride price next. And she smiled again, thinking the plan was already won. He broke the silence with strange questions. Do you always get what you want? She blinked once, surprised, but she kept her smile. Are you afraid of someone smarter than you? Villagers nearby paused to listen. Their eyes shifted between the two like they were watching fire meet dry grass. She laughed loud. Nobody is smarter than me. He gave a slow smile that felt dangerous, almost like a warning wrapped inside a joke. A quiet tension began to rise between them, stretching tight like a rope pulled from both ends. He returned the next day with big gifts. Gold, cloth, fine beads that shone like bright morning water. He laid them out before her. No words. No rush. Her eyes burned with hunger the moment she saw them. She reached out fast, faster than good sense. She grabbed the gifts without asking a single question. This is too easy, she whispered. Before sunset, she hid everything. Every coin. Every bead. Every cloth piece. Her hands worked quick, thinking only of escape. As night fell, she prepared to run away again. She smiled to herself, proud of another easy victory. She sneaked through dark paths, quiet as a shadow, thinking she was unseen. He stepped into her way with calm footsteps, as if he had been waiting all night. I knew you would try. She froze like she had hit a wall. Her breath caught in her throat. His shadow stayed tall and unmoving. It wrapped around her like a cold warning. She tried to joke her way out, throwing out quick words, bright smiles, loud confidence. Nothing worked. The air filled with silent threat and old mystery, the kind of mystery elders warned children about. Angry shouts rose behind her. 3 families returned, louder than thunder. They ran toward her, calling her name with sharp voices. Elders joined them, holding sticks for order, but even their hands shook with frustration. She spun around and realized she was surrounded. No path open, no corner safe. He stayed behind her, blocking her last escape. Families demanded answers, demanded truth, demanded every bride price back. She looked from him to the families, then back again. Her tricks had no place to run. He stepped forward. I came for my bride. Gasps rose. He added, slow and heavy. But I also came for justice. She stared at him. What are you? He answered, your match. The crowd murmured. Some stepped back. Some leaned forward. All could feel the shift in the air. A heavy wind blew, carrying dust and warning through the dark night. Thunder cracked above, and drums began beating again, fast and loud, calling everyone to gather. Villagers rushed toward the square for judgment, shouting and pushing as they moved. She stood trapped in the center of rising chaos as the night turned dark and loud around her. The storm closing in on her lies. Villagers gathered in a tight circle, eyes sharp, hands tense. Breaths held. The air buzzed with anticipation. Drums stopped. Silence fell. All attention turned toward her. Every whisper faded into the hush. She tried to talk fast, words flying like stones. She pointed at the families, twisting blame, throwing accusations as if words could shield her from truth. Elders raised their hands, their gestures heavy, demanding silence. The crowd leaned back slightly, waiting for what would come next. He stepped forward, calm and steady, each step measured. The circle seemed to tighten as villagers leaned in, straining to hear his first words. I am not rich. Gasps moved through the crowd like wind over dry grass. Voices rose, then fell, caught in disbelief. I am a hunter sent by my village, he added, his voice clear and firm. She blinked, caught off guard. Not this turn. He explained how tricksters were tracked across towns, their lies and thefts, leaving a trail like footprints in mud. He pointed at her, voice steady. You were the loudest trail, the villagers murmured, the truth settling like stones dropped in still water. Realization spread. Her clever games had been followed, watched, recorded. One elder shouted, voice cracking with long-held anger. This girl has played with us too long. A woman yelled from the crowd. Teach her a lesson today. She tried to stand tall, chest lifted, but her hands shook. The ground seemed to feel her tremor. Young men stepped closer, eyes fierce, demanding justice now. He raised a hand. Calm, steady. Silence pressed back over the crowd, though their hearts beat fast. She tried to smile, but the grin felt hollow, fragile as dry leaves. Return every bride price. He spoke clearly, the words slicing through the tension. Or face a hunt you cannot win. The crowd froze at the word hunt. Fear, respect, and awe, mixed like water and clay. She tried to laugh. Nothing came. An elder nodded slowly, weight in his eyes. He speaks the fair truth. She raised her voice, desperate now. They were gifts, loans given freely. They begged me to accept. She pointed at the family's eyes darting, searching for sympathy. A small bag opened, evidence spilled forward marks, messages, names of witnesses. Each lie she told collapsed instantly under truth. The families cheered, voices rising with relief and triumph. Her clever tricks, her cunning smiles, all crumbled in seconds. Her eyes shifted fast, scanning for an escape. None, no gap, no corner of hope. She looked down, a whisper barely heard. You beat me. The crowd fell silent, listening. The answer came slow, calm, certain. You beat yourself. Elders stepped forward. Judgment waited. Drums began again, rolling heavy, calling everyone to witness the reckoning. The air thickened. The village held its breath. Her story, bold and greedy, had met its match. The bride prices lay on the ground. Coins, beads, and goats returned to those who had given them. Whispers spread through the villagers. Is she truly returning it? She spoke clearly, without hesitation. Take what I owe. All of it. Elders stepped forward, nodding. Hands counted each piece. Eyes measured the truth in her actions. The crowd watched, waiting, sensing change. Her long months of hard work began. Water carried from the wells. Yards swept with steady hands. Broken tools mended one by one. Sweat marked effort, not deception. Children paused, eyes wide. She works like fire today, one said. Villagers noticed the change. Lies had stopped. Empty promises had ended. Deeds, not words, spoke now. He packed his bags to leave. Calm and silent. Words came once, sharp and final. Greed walks with sharp teeth. Beware. She bowed her head, voice quiet but firm. I will remember. She helped a sick woman without thought of coins. She spoke only when needed, short and honest. Every false deal, every empty promise, stopped with her. An elder stepped forward, staff in hand, eyes steady. Have you truly learned? She met the gaze and answered simply, yes. I met one man I could not fool. The elder smiled, staff raised high, signaling the village's recognition. Murmurs spread. Peace has returned again. The village drums beat softly, slow and steady, marking a calm day. Balance had returned. Lessons were remembered. Trust rebuilt, not with words but with deeds. The story of the greedy girl who had eaten all before ended not in triumph, but in wisdom. And the village exhaled, knowing order had returned. The elder raised his hand. Silence fell like a soft cloth over the crowd. Greed eats everything until it eats you, he said, voice firm and steady. Villagers nodded, eyes following every movement. She listened quietly, head bowed, absorbing each word. Lies run fast, but truth walks stronger, the elder added, pointing gently toward the watching children. Children whispered among themselves. She learned the hard way. A woman spoke up, voice shaking with caution. Trouble comes when you cheat others. The elder gestured toward the village gate, eyes sharp. When you trick people, trouble walks into your own home. Young warriors stepped forward together, voices loud and certain. Respect keeps us safe. Honesty builds a good life. Fairness keeps peace, the elder continued, slowly, each word carrying weight. She bowed her head and spoke softly, voice steady. I know this now, the crowd murmured, repeating the lesson in quiet reverence. Let truth guide us all. The drums beat once, a slow, deliberate pulse marking the day's wisdom. The elder's eyes swept the gathered villagers. The greedy girl thought no one could stop her. He paused, letting the words sink. But every greedy path ends where the truth waits. The villagers spoke the line together, voices joined, strong and clear. She turned away, shoulders lighter, steps careful but steady, ready to walk a better path. The elder struck his staff on the ground. The sound rolled through the village like wind, carrying the lesson far and wide. Through whispers and nods, the story spread. Every ear heard, every heart remembered. The truth would walk with them now, guiding each action, and peace returned to the village.